only watched season 1, episode 1, huh?
Yes.
Our new topic, something that just came out this week. We briefly mentioned it last week, and I thought it was an interesting dichotomy because harken back months and months and months, me, you, Andrew on the microphone talking about the coming of House of the Dragon. And just you two were kind of like, it's going to be shit. And I was like, no, it's going to be awesome. So there's that. And then last week we were talking about Willow, and I was like, oh God, it's going to be such balls. And you and Andrew were like, no, it's going to be great. So that happened, right?
Yeah, that did happen. Yes. I had a modicum of hope for this. And I am so angry that they have extinguished the last embers of hope.
So I guess we can tell what you thought of it just by that. Well, I'll say this, just broad spectrum. I thought it was going to be horrific. And it actually, I found some good high points that I wrote down. I was like, hey, this wasn't all that bad. So I went in thinking it was just going to be complete shit. And so it managed to not impress me, but it managed to not piss me off that much. Whereas you're just like crushed. Like your whole childhood has been like just.
They have destroyed me. I would not, I had time to watch both episodes today. I had the time. I blocked out the time. I couldn't make myself do it. I abandoned episode 1 halfway through. I only went back shortly before we started recording here and watched the rest of it. I choked it down. I wouldn't wipe my ass with this show. This is the worst thing I've seen in so long.
All right. Let me pause there. So
okay.
If I held up 2 different childhood things and told, asked what you thought about them. If I said Lord of the Rings and Willow is so minor and insignificant compared to Lord of the Rings as a body of work.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So you sound like Willow killed you more than the Rings of Power did.
It did. Number one, I was expecting Rings of Power to be that bad, and it was that bad. Willow, I knew there would be some stuff in it. I knew I would have to groan through a few scenes, and maybe we'll get on with it. We never got on with it. It never happened.
It's Disney, man. You gotta quit. You gotta quit believing in Disney.
I just for a minute, I'm like, oh, holy shit! What a fucking slog that was. In my worst case scenario, multiplied by 4. It was just so bad. I couldn't stand a single fucking minute of that show. It was so terrible. It was like episode 3 of season 2 of The Witcher bad.
He did not just go there.
Oh, God, yes, I did.
For those of you listening, there is a lesson in here of expectations. Low expectations, sometimes you can be pleasantly surprised, whereas high expectations, all you get is just like a dagger to your anus.
I wanted it to be good, and now I loathe it with the heat of 1,000 suns.
And you're going to have to watch all of it.
God, fuck you! No!
We're going to be here every week doing this.
No!
Maybe it'll pick up for you. Maybe, you know what? Maybe by the end of this recording, I will have talked you around to it a little bit.
Oh no, the specifics are just going to make it worse. Oh God, the specifics.
It has to be said, Willow, the original movie, great movie, love it from our childhood, go Ron Howard. But it was also kind of, in a lot of ways, a shitty movie that despite its shittiness, we loved, right? The world building was shit.
Yes.
Had a lot of problems. It was mediocre fantasy, and yet was still a great movie.
Because it was fun.
Yeah, it was
Everybody
so much
had fun. It was a fun little action romp.
Yeah, it was a fun little action romp. It didn't try to be an epic trilogy or any of that bullshit. They didn't try to start like their own friggin' universe. And a lot of the movie was kind of shitty. It was kind of not a great movie that managed to be great despite its problems. So this show has the opportunity to actually build the world that was not built in the first movie. So that's good, right?
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of potential you could explore with a setting like this.
Absolutely. I guess before we can talk about the show from like a cinema critic kind of point of view, the elephant in the room is, yes, this show is obviously another Disney attempt to use a beloved childhood franchise as a platform for identity politics. Yes, they are doing that.
What? What? No!
We should get all of our hatred of that aspect out in the beginning, and then we can actually talk about it as, you know, a potential fantasy franchise or a show or whatever. So, yes.
I was kind of thinking about this. I have a theory. Well, it's more of an analogy. I don't intrinsically hate gay people, but this is making me hate gay people. It's as if somebody comes up to you and tells you that Nazis are bad. And you're like, yeah, okay, Nazis are bad. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And they like grab your shoulder and like, no, really, they're bad. No, they're bad. And they just keep following you around telling you that Nazis are bad. And then they inject the Nazis are bad into every piece of media you see for the next 5 years. Eventually you come to the point where you're like, fuck you, you anti-Nazi people. I don't want to hear from you anymore. It's insulting that you think I think this way. It's insulting that you think I need to be educated this fucking hard. Ugh.
I think that whole agenda would have a lot more people on board with it if they weren't so demanding that everybody participate in it.
Yeah.
Like I've heard somebody say about like a gay pride parade. How much of the celebration of where you put your genitals do I really need to participate in? You know, I'm cool with you. You're cool. You have every right to do whatever makes you happy. But why do you insist I participate in it?
I either have to not just agree with you, but I have to like scream it from the top of my lungs. Otherwise, I'm a horrible person.
Horrible bigot.
I'm the worst.
All right. So opening scene, you got the two girls fighting, and in this really scenic, big on a boulder fencing kind of thing, they're wearing masks.
What? They're both girls? My expectations are shattered. Oh my God, I can't believe they went there.
You did think right away these two are lesbians, right?
Yes. I immediately got that vibe, especially after she took off her helmet and revealed her lesbian haircut. Yeah.
Oh God, they're just getting it all out in the first fucking scene.
Right there, bam. Deal with this, straights.
Freckle Jesus. I don't want to call her that, but I watch a lot of Gary from NerdRagnarok, and he tears up a lot of these shows that she's been in lately, and he calls her Freckle Jesus. So it's hard to get that out of my head. I don't know what her actual name is. It's like Aaron something, but that is, for those of you out there listening who don't know what we're talking about, think of the Solo movie. Her first real appearance was she played like the bad guy in the really badass, awesome armor that when she took her helmet off, you're like, oh, that's like a kind of ugly teenager.
Yeah, she's still an ugly teenager.
And then you get this really awesome comic book character called Flag Smasher, and you make her in the Falcon and Winter Soldier Flag Smasher, and they completely water down the character.
Yeah, and she spent a lot of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier murdering people as a terrorist, and she was supposed to be a sympathetic character.
Yeah, the Marvel has abandoned all sense of any like morality at all.
Well, it's because she's ethnically indistinct. She's immune to criticism.
That's why she's called Freckle Jesus, the freckle part, obviously. But the Jesus part is because, like, how is she getting all these roles? She's not like fucking De Niro. She's not like Meryl Streep. How does she keep getting all these giant air quotes, blockbuster movies? And it's like she's the second coming. So that's why Freckle Jesus. I look at her and I'm like, she successfully ticks the box. I'm sure she can tick the box of being, I can't say African American because she's not American. So African British, black. Yet she is by far like one of the lightest skinned black people ever. So she's able to stealthily sneak under the radar of all the evil bigot fans that are out there that are just like, no black people in my Star Wars, or, you know. So she's like Hollywood fucking gold. They allow them to pat themselves on the back for having a African British person in their show. But then also she's able to stealthily creep up on white people and be like, haha, I'm one of you. That's why she's, I think.
I just think it's because nobody knows what the hell race she is that she checks all the boxes. She's like a charismaless Dwayne Johnson.
Huh. With more freckles.
Yeah, nobody can figure out the ethnicity, so you kind of give up. But then they can go back and click all their diversity boxes and look what we had in our movie.
Then they jumped to the other child of Mad Mardigan and Sorsha. And he's kind of like the douchey layabout prince guy.
Oh, yeah, Peter Frampton. Yeah.
Frampton. He comes off like a real douchebag. And like he's talking to like scullery maids and shit. And he's like being like all try hard, making up shit about him. He's a prince. You don't have to do that if you're the prince.
Yeah, you don't have to try.
You don't have to like lie about yourself when you're the goddamn prince.
You have to lie to get out of that shit because they all want to get knocked up by the prince.
So here's, I guess, you saw the first episode, so it ended on their big surprise cliffhanger.
What?
My question for you is, and honestly, think back. At what point did you realize that the kind of hot-looking blonde scullery maid was a Laura Dannon?
Really? I was so disgusted by what I was watching, I don't think I was thinking about it too hard. I was pretty sure it was going to be Freckle Jesus that turned out to be a Laura Dannon.
Because of the red hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, it's going to be you. Oh, yeah.
So was it when she got away from the party and actually opened the shield with her hands?
I guess. I don't know. I assumed it was reacting to the purity of her heart or some bullshit like that.
Actually shocked you at the very end when they pulled their big aha?
I wasn't so much shocked. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's happening now.
Oh, they're doing that?
Yeah.
Here's me. I wasn't like, I don't know. I wasn't dealing with the same shit as you when I was watching this. So first of all, you have Peter Frampton trying to bang the hot scullery maid. And then she showed up on camera again and had like lines and people talked to her. The second scene that she was in when she was talking to, I think it might have been like the head maid or something like that. I was just like, oh my God, this isn't Downton Abbey. Why are they showing me a scullery maid's conversations and shit? At that point, I was just like, oh, that's fucking Laura.
I thought they were just awkwardly inserting a POV character. But then the big reveal at the end proved me wrong. Blew my mind.
That's good that it actually kind of snuck up on you. That I think the writers, they could take some gratification in the fact that they got you a little bit. That was
good work, guys. Good work.
They're like at the ball and they're dancing and the two girls are dancing together. And Freckle Jesus is like, I was accepted by the Knights of Tirasleen. I'm the first woman ever.
Ugh.
And my first thought was because affirmative action. Yeah, that's of course you were.
My first thought was, ugh, just stop talking. Just do something. There was so much not happening at that ball. Oh my God.
I thought back to House of the Dragon, the episode where the majority of it was at the wedding.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, let's compare and contrast.
There was so much tension and so much going on behind the scenes and so much unsaid that was happening. And this was just blah. And then the fucking princess. I gotta yell about the fucking princess. I just think she is the perfect example of your early 20-year-old people that we've met and interact with on a regular basis, in that she is shrill and self-centered and self-righteous and completely not fun.
You think the heroes of the last movie would have done a better job raising their children? Later on that night, the big assault on the castle with the menagerie of evil bad guys. Weren't those really decently done bad guys? Didn't they seem very menacing, scary? There was a lot of variation. None of them looked like horribly generic. I thought they did a good job on that. The bullwhippy guy, whenever I see somebody with two bullwhips, I wonder if it's that same actor that was in the Rundown and in Underworld, Kate Beckinsale movie. That's the guy you go to when you want somebody like wielding two whips.
Two whips, yeah. That was pretty badass.
The guy's out of work for like 7, 8, 9, 10 years. He's just like, Mom, it was a tight year, but they're going to need two whips again at some point.
He's got an ad in the phone book.
You want two whips? I got just the guy for you. You see his headshot and it's that guy, the two whips guy.
He's working BDSM clubs just to make rent. We should hire two whips guy.
I'd like to hear like a documentary when he was a kid. Like when I was 5 years old, nobody liked me, but then I got these two bullwhips and everybody just loved me. And he's probably like a big Raiders fan, Indiana Jones.
He can whip a cigarette out of two people's mouths at once.
I think as shit tarnished as this show might make a lot of people, I think Two Whips guy is going to come out looking like a superstar. Because he's Two Whips guy. You can't fuck with that.
Yeah. Okay, Two Whips guy, yeah.
I thought they were scary, compelling, well-done victims. Before they assaulted the castle, they had that real, far-away back shot of all four of them looking at the castle. And you're like, oh my God, what's going on with these people? And one of them was like that little skinny, freaky one that was kind of crawling across the ground, kind of like the Ring girl.
Bird Girl.
Yeah, Bird Girl.
Bird Girl was the one I liked. She was pretty awesome.
I thought they did a good job with the villains. And as I'm watching the fight scene, it was, a chaotic fight scene and there was mist and there was a lot of shit going on. nothing in that fight scene made me go like, oh, goddamn, fuck you. I do that later on. I'll get into that later. But that fight scene actually gave me hope. The villains in the fight scene gave me hope. I was like, oh, that was pretty fucking cool. Prince gets kidnapped, and apparently that's what they were there for. They got Frampton. Apparently they're big Frampton fans.
Yeah.
He was actually alone in his room doing that with.
We got the Prince, but we couldn't get his wah-wah pedal. That's the source of his power.
There was one moment as he woke up when shit was going bad and the evil people were attacking, where he actually grabbed a sword off his mantelpiece and did like a Mad Mardigan flip with it.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, oh, okay, so he is maybe Val Kilmer's son. So that was kind of
maybe
cool,
they're gonna have him go down there and kick ass, but nope.
No, he just got kidnapped. So they're like, oh my God, the prince has been kidnapped. I'll save him. He's my brother. I'll save him. I'm a freckly knight. Everybody's like stepping up.
What? A woman going on a quest to save a man? My mind is blown.
We have 8 women, so we're good to go. Oh, maybe Captain of the Guard, you go with him too.
Oh, yeah. Let's throw in an old white guy so he can get killed at the end of the episode. Which I totally said when they did. I'm like, oh, I guess they've got to have somebody to get killed at the end of this episode. What the fuck did they do? Fucking right there. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's actually my next note point, is the guys giving basically the same speech as Samuel L. Jackson when he was in Deep Blue Sea standing in front of the Shark Tank.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's giving a speech about how vigilant they need to be. And before the arrow hit him and went through his chest, I was like, oh, God, he's going to die right now. And then the arrow hit him. So much like the big Elora Danan twist, I'm also going to say their other big twist is, didn't get me at all. I knew that was going to happen.
What? The one old white guy they brought with them died? What?
Who could have possibly?
You can't kill an elder mentor figure. That never happens.
So as complimentary as I was of the action and the fight scenes that happened that night, later on toward the end of the show, when they're on their horses and they're trying to outrun the bad guys, they go off the cliff. And then, well, okay, I'll talk about that in a minute.
The fucking cliff.
Basically, the action was poorly communicated, and that might be not the director, not the stunt people, not the actors. It might be just shitty editing. That was one of the hallmarks of Rings of Power, is like when Galadriel was doing her instructive fight against 8 students in the end of that whole sequence was they go off the cliff on the horses, right?
Yes, I love the physics of that. There's like a 50-foot jump. Yeah, horses can do that. Sure, why not?
And then the bad guys pull up to the cliff edge, and it's been like 3 seconds, and like 200 yards away on a sandbar, all the good guys are there. Like, surprise! How did you teleport from the? Suddenly they're on a sandbar. Them trying to be funny and clever. Was like, oh God, wah, wah. It fell so flat.
I've never seen horses do that. What does Sugala mean?
It's an ancient Angorian word. It means stop.
Because they basically tried to Lou Die Fi from Young Guns.
Yes, I got the Young Guns reference. Yes, I did. Yes.
How the hell did you get him to do that, huh?
It's an ancient Navajo word. It means stop.
Probably if I like accused the writers, like, aha, you guys are hacks, they'd probably be like, no, that was a tribute. But no, it was just obvious and stupid.
In Young Guns, they were going down a steep hill, which is a whole different thing from jumping off a cliff.
They think they're being so clever. That's not funny. You're not funny. It's been done. You're not clever. And I bet 90% of the production cast, the producers, the directors didn't get that was stolen from Young Guns because they never saw fucking Young Guns.
Oh, surely they didn't. Yeah. If they did, they might know what a good script looked like.
God damn them for stealing from fucking Lou Die Fi. You don't steal from Chavez E. Chavez. Last minute or two of the episode, did you have a moment of joy when Warwick Davis showed up? So he's got to be like 55 to 60 now, I'd guess. He looks good for his age.
Yeah, looks better than Sorsha did, I'll tell you that. He was like a life preserver they threw to me at the end. I was drowning in the sea of garbage, and oh, thank God Warwick's here. And, they had him in for 3 fucking minutes.
I'm really, really, really glad you just said that, because I can't wait for you to watch episode 2.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
When we mentioned Willow before, you said it was kind of cool, Willow being kind of like the Gandalf character, kind of being like the elder statesman, Merlin wizard, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah. Hold on to that.
Oh, no.
Because
Oh no!
I can't wait to see how crushed you are next week.
Oh god! Oh god!